all can accomplish whatever it is that we want. People have their own reasons for the path that they lead. I'm the founder and CEO of Kennetic-Fit and Wellness, which goes into three elements of life. However, we're thinking in those moments, that will determine what direction that we go. But getting back to nature is the best way. It's all about self-control.
Why people have to choose you? Because hello everybody, and here is Elena Berman with Let's Talk. And today we have a very special guest who I know for many years, and I would love to share his knowledge with you. And I'm happy that he found the time today, and he will tell everything about himself and what he does. So let me introduce to you Kennon Wesley Mason, Freemason, right?
Right, the Freemason.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be on your platform. It's been a while since we've spoken to each other, since we have a little bit of a history together. You were on our show.
I started from your radio show.
Yes,
I was your guest first.
Yes. So we go back a few years. You were a guest on our show back in I think 2015. And so we had a wonderful time, had a great conversation, you, myself, and my mom. So so thank you for having me back on your platform. Thank you so much.
Sure. We met actually in a very special place. I will not name it, but it is like-minded people. And I love the spirit of that group. And we keep each other, helping each other, and we value each other. So, but we have no other difference. We have the same body, the same brain, and the same eyes, and we had the same education, right? But for some reason, we thinking differently. So what do you think it is?
What do I think about our differences?
Why certain people think differently, and as a result of that, they make a different decisions for themselves and their future, for their destinies?
Well, everybody has their own journey and life path. People have their own reasons for the path that they lead, depending on how they grow up in life or depending on what their ambitions are in life. However, we're thinking in those moments, that will determine what direction that we go, whether it will be a positive outcome or a not so positive outcome. All of it is based on our thinking patterns. And, you know, I'm always forever in the process of wanting to do more or be more or have more. And those are the things that will determine for anyone, your thinking and how you feel about your thinking. If your thoughts make you feel good, then keep it moving, and it'll take you to that next logical step for you to get to that goal. So it's all about feeling good, and that's probably the best way I can answer is to just feel good in what you do, feel good in what you have right now. And the more you feel good, more things will come to you as time goes on.
That's
Time is
right.
our greatest asset. So as long as we know that time is on our side, we all can accomplish whatever it is that we want accordingly.
So that's why you started your program and teaching on wellness, how to be well in all terms of life, right?
Yes, Kennetic-Fit and Wellness. Well, first, let's go from the beginning. I'm the founder and CEO of Kennetic-Fit and Wellness, which goes into three elements of life. One is physical fitness. So I train people one-on-one or couples training, all levels of fitness, whether you're a beginner or intermediate, or if you're training for a specific competition or event. That's one element. The second element is physical therapy for those that have been in accidents or have muscle injuries from playing certain sports or any type of injury, personal injury, work injury, sports injury. We do rehabilitation or physical therapy, or what I call physiotherapy, cupping, electronic stim therapy, stretch techniques, realignment techniques. All of it is to help with the healing process. That way, it kind of eliminates the need for pain medications, or you can reduce them greatly by doing more natural therapies. And then the third element is what I call holistic life counsel, because I have my board certification as a holistic psychology practitioner. I can counsel people locally or anywhere from around the world, since we're in this technological era, just like what we're doing right now. So holistic life counsel goes into getting to the root causes of what has caused the negative circumstances or adverse circumstances. And so we all can have a chance, a better chance at being better as we start over and take a look in our mirror and reflect on how we've gotten ourselves to where we are right now as we speak, positive or negative. And so for those that want talk therapy, or what I call absolute brain and mind conditioning, we can go any direction you want. Talk therapy is for those that just simply want some feedback or some considerations or suggestions on how they want to move forward in life, or how they want to move forward in their current circumstances. Talk therapy, things that are on the surface right now, today or yesterday, or the things that they think will be on the table tomorrow. Now, for those that want deeper therapy, or who want to change their entire brain chemistry, that's when we would do brain and mind conditioning, which goes into changing the entire brain chemistry based on certain conditioning statements that you're telling yourself every single day. So you can break down all the positive neural connections that are in the brain and break those like old branches on a tree. You know, when you have old branches on a tree and they're dried and they haven't been attended to, they will wither away and die. So in the brain, neurons act in the same manner. So when we create new brain chemistry in the brain, it creates new chemistry in your bloodstream, and that creates magnetism. So you magnetize or manifest, that's what some people call it, manifest. But either way, you're going to magnetize things towards you based on your new way of thinking, based on your new creation of brain chemistry. This is brain chemistry that you create on your own versus outside influences creating them for you. And
you are covering a lot of things right now, and very, very professional way. So maybe some people don't understand what you're talking about. So let's break it down. Since you are very into mental health, and right now it is the most topic, and actually it's been forever since I know America. And I was wondering why they're paying attention so much, especially to mind and brain wellness. And we know why, because we discovered who people who are researchers, the more people will be disabled to think for themselves, the more they need help. But they forget one most important thing, that you will lose your ability to think and make a decision. So you probably will help people to go back to nature and rewire themselves to be a human with huge abilities, right?
Yes, because all of us, we all have the ability to think for ourselves without the intervention or the assistance of what the standard has become with pharmaceutical drug interventions, which change your entire brain chemistry, which means you won't be completely thinking for yourself. You'll have other forms of thoughts come into your brain by way of the chemistry in the drug. So
yeah, it's some stranger in your mind, right?
Yes. So getting back to nature, getting back to our fundamental nature, because thought is fundamental. I mean, we all have the capability to think. And the more we feed our brains brain foods such as positive thoughts, positive emotions, being around positive people that possibly want the same things that you do, and that way it builds it creates affinity. It creates affinity, and it creates what we call the mastermind. All those things come into play, but getting back to nature is the best way, as far as I'm concerned. It's the best way to get back to you. That's why we call it natural healing, or healing yourself naturally, because we all have that capability to heal
Yeah.
ourselves naturally. All of us have self-healing capabilities, all 7 billion people on the planet. The only thing is, we've been thoroughly conditioned to believe that we don't have those capabilities. You know, we've been conditioned to believe that we have to be completely dependent or reliant on a pharmaceutical industry or the medical profession or allopathic medical profession to solve all of our health challenges.
Yeah, basically you're giving out your power. You don't trust yourself, you trust into somebody else, right?
That's right.
And at the
That's
same
right.
time, we question it all the time. How can I trust you, right? In a certain conditions. But over
Yeah.
here, no brainer, just trust in you for some reason.
Yes, a lot of people, well, we're so used to the allopathic way of conducting our health, the moment you mention anything natural, I recommend that you take maybe this red yeast rice for viral infections. Oh, I don't want to take that. My doctor says I can't do anything like that because that might be harmful for me. Now, these are natural products that come from the earth, but because we've been so conditioned to believe in synthetics versus nature, this is why we have the illness epidemic that we do here in America and abroad, for that matter, because all the many of your illnesses that we see here in America, we see them in other developed countries now. Cancer, diabetes, heart disease, those are the big three here in America, but now we're seeing them in other parts of the world, and they're increasing year by year. Annually they're increasing.
Yeah.
And it can be something just as simple as reversing it with a natural remedy, whether it be juicing or natural supplementation. Natural
Absolutely.
supplementation is very simple, but simplicity is difficult for people here.
Yes, absolutely. I like how you post in very short and very unique way what you do, and especially on eating right. And I know you love cooking and natural plants power. So tell me
Yeah.
about that part, because you are growing something, right?
Well, actually, I have been growing a few crops over the last few years. And I'll just throw a few out. I mean, I've grown things like basil and chard and red chard and Swiss chard. Both are great. I've grown spaghetti squash, which became a nightmare actually. But
Why?
well, because spaghetti squash grows in a vine form, so
Mm-hmm.
it kind of took it kind of covered almost half of the backyard. So
Too
yeah,
much.
so I have pictures too. But the spaghetti squash, I mean, they were huge. I mean, nothing like you would purchase in the store. I mean, they were as big as watermelons because the soil was so great, or it still is so great. We have grapes that grow here, purple grapes, which are great. Um, and speaking of grapes, just a quick recommendation for anyone that likes to eat grapes: make sure your grapes have seeds in them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure your grapes have seeds in them.
It's
There's
hard to
no
find now.
It is hard to find. They're hard. Seeded grapes are hard to find, and seeded watermelon. The season for seeded watermelon just passed, so you may have to wait until the spring or summer. But those are the two big ones, watermelon and grapes, that have been hybridized or tampered with by scientists, if you will, to be seedless. And when you have seedless watermelon or seedless grapes or seedless anything, you're not getting the full spectrum of energetic minerals that would otherwise be helpful for the body.
Yeah, and plus it's fiber as well.
The
And very
fiber,
good
yes, absolutely.
digestive system.
Absolutely. And
Hmm.
grapes are great for you. Grapes are great. And watermelon is too. Anything from the
Yeah,
melon family is great for you.
absolutely. I would love to ask you, I saw recently you did post about mental wellness, how people being labeled with all kind of diagnoses, which is not real. And I think it goes from our childhood where you have nicknames, right? And people kind of used to it, nickname. It's not your real name. And they portray with themselves and with a character, of course. So here we are adult, and the pharmaceutical industry try to label you with some diagnosis, which is you never was aware of. But in reality, they just describing who you are. And it is not wrong. It's nothing wrong with that, because if a person is hyper, means he has more energy maybe to things have done, and etc. It's of course some exceptional state of mind, which is disabled person. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, this month acknowledges mental health awareness, and which is something that I'm passionate about. Also, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which I'm passionate about as well. Not so much specifically breast cancer, but just cancer as an illness. But going back to your question about mental illness, prolonged negative behaviors or prolonged behaviors that create adverse circumstances for a person, the standard is that the behavior is labeled. And when the behavior is labeled, such as being bipolar or being manic depressive, by nature, all of us are bipolar. We all
Yeah,
experience happiness. We all experience sadness to varying
yeah.
degrees.
And passion and grief.
All of us experience anxiety, just to
Yeah,
varying degrees. It's all about self-control or learning to be in control of your emotions. It's okay to have the emotion, but having or being labeled as having a disorder because of a prolonged behavior pattern, that's not you. But if the label has been attached to you for a certain amount of time, certain people will start to believe that that's who they are, and they're going to have that condition for the rest of their lives as being,
associate.
yes, as being bipolar or having bipolar depression or manic depression. Those are the two biggest or most common of disorders on the table: chronic anxiety and chronic depression. And most anxieties and depressions are based on not knowing how to control your emotions, because we're so caught up in everyday living, the matrix, where we don't take the time out to acknowledge ourselves and make sure our own selves are taken care of. We take care of everyone else first. And then we run out of energy taking care of everyone else. We deplete all of our energy taking care of everyone else. And then when it's time for us to take care of ourselves, we're so broken down, we don't know where to start first. We don't know where to start. And then we go to a psychiatrist or a clinical psychologist for assistance. And based on their teachings, based on how they've been taught in standard clinical psychology or standard psychiatry, The standard is based on a prolonged behavior. You're going to be labeled as being whatever label is appropriate for your behavior. And again, the two most common are anxiety and depression. And then once you have a diagnosis, then there's possible or more than likely prescription after prescription after prescription
This
of
is how they're fixing you.
yes, of pharmacy drugs or psych, what they call psych meds that wreak havoc on the human brain. It literally changes the entire way the brain operates.
Yeah, and
Talk about
personality.
natural functioning. There is no way that the brain can function naturally when it's being pumped full of synthetics.
Of course. So do you use in your program, like I do, cleansing, like juicing and all of that stuff, parasites cleanse and different type of protocols? Heavy metal
Yes,
cleansing.
I always recommend for example, if if my clients come for physical fitness, the first thing I recommend is to do an internal cleanse. That's the first thing I recommend. Many, if not most people, have never done a full internal cleanse for all of our vital organs. I mean, we all take showers or baths and we clean our largest organ, the skin suit, but most of us have never cleaned our liver, our kidneys, our small and large intestine, the spleen, the lungs, the lymphatic system. And what many people do, they will do colon cleanses because that's the most common. But when you do a colon cleanse, that means you're neglecting all of your other organs. You can't have
Absolutely.
a clean colon, but then have a dirty liver and still have a dirty kidneys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your body won't operate in unison the way it was designed to when some parts of your body have been had attention to it, but other parts of your body are being neglected. The body functions as a whole. That's why we call it holistic, because the all body parts function as a unit. All parts function as a unit. And so I always recommend for people to do a cleanse, and then you know, recommend that to slow down on eating heavy foods or foods that are loaded with preservatives or processed sugar or salt or white flour, because all
Over
of
here,
these
you
things
need to
will
be,
stick to you like glue.
yeah, I'm sorry for interruption.
Yeah.
Over here, you need to be more specific because some people in reality don't understand what's the difference. They think they buy in the store packaged food. They think it's normal.
Yes, I just be careful or be cautious of what you're purchasing. Anytime you go to any grocery store, in all aisles, you're going to have processed food in all aisles outside of your produce section. But at the same time, you have to be careful and cautious of your produce as well, because we know that commercial produce is sprayed to high heaven with pesticides and herbicides. And then you see the residue, this waxy white residue on your mangoes and apples and oranges, and you have to purchase these fruit and veggie solutions just to remove this residue. I mean, no fruit or vegetable should have to go through this process just to be consumed, because
Absolutely.
we're talking about nature. So
Yeah.
in nature, this doesn't occur. But once man steps in and man believes that he or she knows more than nature, this is what happens. And a lot of these pesticides are sprayed into the soil. So therefore, the residue or the chemical in the pesticide grows into the water content of the fruit. So you can't wash it off. So as soon as you bite into it, you're biting into all those herbicides at a trace mineral level.
I think it's a lot of people already aware of that. But what is shocking the level of ignorance of this information. They said, so what? Pesticides is good for you. This is what I heard from a person who'd been on dialysis and then died. So, and he doesn't connect that dialysis doesn't come from nowhere. Dialysis come to when you damage so much your kidney that you have to have that.
That's
So,
right.
but in reality, it starts from your pesticides food, for example, or similar to that.
Yes, dialysis is a result of someone that has either totally neglected themselves um, or hasn't taken the recommendations that diabetes can be reversed. Because
Absolutely.
diabetes, type 2 diabetes, we're talking about a developed condition
In
based
30
on,
days.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a development. We're not born with type 2 diabetes. We're not
Yes,
born with that. It's a
absolutely.
development over time based on lifestyle.
We're
Lifestyle,
highly
or
alkaline born.
yes. I mean, once you get the body alkaline versus being highly acidic, which is uh, all illness means that your body is acidic somewhere, or it means that you're lacking energy somewhere, or lacking oxygen somewhere. So when you're lacking any of those three elements, you're going to have illness, or especially if it's prolonged. So what we have to do is kind of step back and kind of reflect on, how did I get myself into this diabetic condition? Some people have type 2 diabetes during childhood, and they continue to have it well into their adulthood. Why? Because of what you said earlier. We're ignorant to information. If you don't know what you don't know, and in allopathic medicine, they make sure we don't know.
That's right. That's right.
they make sure we don't know. So when we get the information, the correct information on what creates diabetes, or what creates this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is why holistics, what I do, is about getting to the root cause. We don't have to do all the guesswork. When people go to an oncologist to get to have some kind of testing, especially for women, women have to know that when you have a mammogram or mammography, you're actually increasing your chances of developing breast cancer by way of the overabundance of synthetic radiation. The standard cancer industry will tell you as a woman that mammographies are great for you and you have to have them, or it's recommended for you to have them at least once per year, starting at the age
Because
of
it's
40.
residual. Yeah, because it's residual income.
Right. Right.
Not for you.
Right. I mean, cancer is, or breast cancer, I can speak specifically on breast cancer. Uh, Many women are recommended to check for lumps and to feel under their breast for lumps and things of this nature. The way I was taught, the more you feed your mind with notions that something might be, that something may be approaching.
Worry.
Yeah, something might be there, or a tumor, or a cyst, or a lump
If
maybe
syndrome, it's
lurking
called.
around, the corner for you. So every time that you are searching for something, you're opening up the floodgates for that very thing to happen to you at some point.
Yeah, what you're afraid of, you will have.
That's right. That's
And what
right.
you wish for, you will have too.
That's right. It's the fear factor. It's the fear
Yeah.
factor, and more the cancer industrial complex wants women to be in total and utter fear of breast cancer, like no other cancer exists for women
That's
other than
right.
breast cancer.
That's
Um,
right.
I mean,
Pay attention.
and the cancer industry is I mean, we're talking multi-million-dollar industry. It's big business.
Absolutely.
It's
And
big
as
business.
you know, if you will start to treat that problem normally and organically,
Yeah.
you will be against the law.
Right.
It's against the
Right,
law to be healthy.
right. And if you dare to recommend it to someone else, then they come after you. I
Yeah.
mean, I can only, if I recommend what I do to take care of myself, um, if I recommend it to you, for example, we're online right now. People are watching. I've had 3 of my videos deleted from YouTube because of
Because
what they call medical misinformation. That's what they call it, medical misinformation.
yeah.
As if I'm not allowed to learn about how my own body functions. That's what they're saying. That I'm giving medical misinformation because I taught myself how to take care of myself. And I want to
It's a
recommend to
crime.
other people how they can take care of themselves. My job is not to invade the territory of allopathic medicine. If people want to continue to go to them for their remedies, they can do that. They're free. Anyone's free to go to allopathic medicine. But for those that see what the results have been over and over and over again, and they see what the results have been for their loved ones, mom, dad, uncle, aunt, that have developed cancer and have been going to these institutions over and over again for chemotherapy and radiation, and they end up being more sick, and the cancer spreads more after the fact of these treatments, these barbaric treatments at that.
You're welcome to share all that information, a few tips, what was deleted.
Well, all 3 of them had to do with, because we're in a COVID era right now, or we have been for the last 3 years. And because of that, anyone that says anything contrary to what the standard is, that uh, another booster has been uh, approved through emergency means, or what they call emergency approval through the FDA or the CDC. And this is what they want the entire country to believe, that the only way that the human being can be protected from viral invaders. Plus, they want us to be in, again, perpetual fear. And they want parents to be in perpetual fear so they can have all of their children inoculated, whether they want to or not. And we see that many children are coming up with injuries as a result. So many inoculations over the last year and a half. We had the initial inoculation from a year and a half ago. Then they told you to get this booster. Then 6 months later, that they have another booster already available. Already available.
You know, so many people don't agree on that, and they continue doing those shots. I will not say that word because they still alive.
Yeah.
And they think it's normal to have, and this is what keep them alive. So how you will overcome that? And actually, we don't need to overcome anything. Let it be. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I'm not here to convince anyone otherwise. All I'm here to do is give the information as I know it. If people still choose, because we all have free thought and free decision making, if people make the decision after the information is given to them, then okay, you're going to have a result at some point. It's not being reported as often, but there are more people that are having adverse effects. They call them the long haulers, the people that have had COVID and are still experiencing symptoms, even after having all the inoculations. The long
Yeah,
haulers.
and by the way, especially for those people who have those shots, they have to have
Yes.
detoxification, and probably it will be for them the best, because some people would love to know, so where they can find you and how they can use your program.
Well, the best way to find me, a few ways. You can go to my YouTube channel, which is Kennetic-Fit, and Wellness Info. That's Kennetic, Kennetic, Kennetic-Fit and Wellness Info. You can go to that. That's my YouTube channel. There's a ton of information there. You can also go to my Instagram, which is Kennon Wesley Mason. You can follow me there. Follow me on Facebook at Kennon Mason. All of my information is there. If you go to my Instagram page, actually, you can click the link in the bio and it'll take you directly to all the information that's needed on all of my rates and all services that I give to clients.
Right. I will provide all those links under the video.
Perfect. For those that are local, we can do physical fitness training or physiotherapy. But for those that are out of state or out of our local area that want counseling, we can counsel at any time from anywhere, just like what we're doing now. We can do a Zoom call or whatever kind of call that's comfortable for the client.
And local, you mean California, right?
Yes, I'm here in Los Angeles, just south of Los Angeles, actually.
Could you share one of your personal achievement by using your own programs? For example, you had some problems and you overcame them.
Well, the first time I did a fast or a full, gosh, I've done so many. The longest I've gone doing fasting has been 40 days and 40 nights.
A water fast?
No, it wasn't completely water. It was a juice fast.
Like
because water fasting can be very difficult for many people. And also when you do a water fast, you're not getting the full mineral content that you would if you squeeze an orange in your water or a lemon in your water. So not a water fast. I did a juice fast, which meant carrot juice with barley grass and cinnamon, or apple juice, homemade apple juice with cinnamon. And I did that for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, was it difficult? Yes. The first, I would say, if you can get past the first 72 hours to allow your body to transition into not taking in any solid food. Once you get past that 72-hour mark, your body will take on a different chemistry because now it knows that you mean business. And so your body will change with you changing because your body's only going to do what you tell it to do.
Yeah.
So I did 40 days, 40 nights. I lost about, because I used to be a little more muscular. I've kind of slimmed down.
40 pounds, I guess.
Ago. Yeah, actually, I lost not so much. I lost about 20 pounds. But it was the excess fat content because I was eating. I've never been a big, heavy guy, but because of the type of food that I was eating, thank God that I worked out because otherwise I probably would have been leaning towards being overweight possibly. So I overcame that. So 40 days and 40 nights, that's the longest that I've gone doing a fast. But once I started back eating solid food, it had to be a slow transition because now the body again has to get used to breaking down more solid food, which means your body has to create more what they call hydrochloric acid and things of this nature. But when your body's alkaline, I mean, the more your body is alkaline, you're not going to, illness will be an afterthought, especially things such as cancer and things of that nature. I mean, when your body's alkaline, cancer will be a thing of the past. If you give yourself at least 6 months to a year, cancer, diabetes, all these things can be a thing of your past. And you can live life just as happy and cheerful and accomplish all the things that you want.
Let me ask you a question. How is your beautiful relationship with a healthy lifestyle and food affect your relationship and family with your mom, with your wife, your children, and your friends and business?
The eating habits are, it's kind of mixed because, for example, my sister, she's lost 30 pounds over let's say an 8-month period, working out 2 days.
And now you're more likely to see her, right?
Yeah, actually, I wish she was here right now. But she's definitely changed after stopping for about 6 months, then coming back, then stopping again for about 3 months, then coming back. So she finally decided to take it serious, and the results show. I didn't even realize what the change was until months later. I'm like, wow, you've really changed,
I
you
mean,
know?
her attitude probably changed. She is not grumpy anymore, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, once you become healthy, everything about you changes. You become more
Right.
optimistic. You become more optimistic about life. You become more cheerful. You become more happy. You have more energy. Um, all of these things, as opposed to when you're ill, you're depressed, you're angry, you don't want to talk to anyone, you're
Mm.
lashing out at people, you have a sour attitude about life. Uh, all of these things occur when you're not so healthy. Frustration, you name it, stress, you name it. So my thing is that for anyone that wants to, even for yourself, I mean, I commend you for doing what you do and the things that you recommend to people that are in your sphere of influence, because I've seen you over the years, do natural foods and things of like that, and it's worked for you. It can work for
Yeah.
anyone that takes the time out to be consistent, because that's what
Mhm.
it is. If we can be consistent with eating a bunch of junk food, we can be consistent with eating, or at least making the transition to eat a little healthier and make it a habit. You don't have to stop cold turkey and become a stone cold vegan, but just make some slow, subtle transitions, or make slow, subtle changes in the diet. Subtle changes. Drink more water. That's another thing. Drink more water. Drink more water. The body is 70 to 80% water. The brain is housed in water. The brain is made of water and fat. So water is essential for all of us.
Yeah.
Your garden can't grow without water. Your grass won't grow without water. So water
Basically,
is
you just
essential.
gave us whole master class on how to be healthy.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
very generous on your knowledge, and I like that you're not held back. So I would love to give my advice for people who are listening to this interview. Take advantage and call to Freemason.
That's right. That's
To
right.
become free wherever you are over there.
Yes. If you, for anyone out there that's watching that want to be free of diabetes or heart disease, or free of anxiety and depression and compulsiveness and negative behaviors and all of these things, kinetic fit and wellness may be the right decision to make for you. Hey, there, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Absolutely. And the last one, if I may to ask, what do you think, what is your uniqueness, or what is your strongest part on what you're doing? Why people have to choose you? Because so many people doing the same as you.
Well, I try to make things as simplistic as possible. When you go to standard medicine or allopathic medicine, and it's nothing against them. I've met some wonderful physicians that have taught me a lot. But when you go to standard allopathic medicine, it's like it's equivalent to legal jargon. No one understands it. So when they start speaking a bunch of medical terminology, the layperson doesn't know what most physicians are speaking about, because we just don't know. We don't speak their language. So they can tell us anything. And because they're physicians, because they have an MD behind their name or a DR in front of their name, that means they get automatic credibility versus myself. I don't have any of those titles, but I can give you information that just makes sense. That makes sense. And also the results, they say the proof is in the pudding. There's people all over the world that have cured or healed themselves of diabetes. There's documentaries all over America that have documented people healing themselves. And I'd use the word heal on purpose, because here in America you can't use the word cure.
Yeah.
So for those that want to heal themselves, you can do that, but it's having the right information and having it conveyed to you in a way to where it's understandable. It's understandable, and it's done in not such an elementary way to where to make the person feel like they're stupid, but it's something to make them understand a little easier. So if they do choose to go the natural route, it can be simplified and it won't be difficult. You don't have to monitor things. You won't overdose on drinking too much juice.
That's right.
You can't overdose on drinking too much carrot juice or apple juice. You can overdose on taking too many heart medication pills. You can
It's true.
overdose on Xanax.
Oh yeah, God forbid.
Right? But you're not going to overdose on drinking water to flush all that stuff out. You're not going to overdose on drinking too much carrot juice. You're not going to overdose on eating too many apples so you can have some fiber in your system. You may get a tummy ache, but that will subside within minutes. Within minutes. But you can overdose on taking too much liver medication, reuptake inhibitors, any of these protocols. Just know that anything synthetic will create some kind of adverse chemistry in the body. So going natural is the best way. It's been working for thousands of years. We can go back to the days of Hippocrates and of Greece and Imhotep of Africa. These are the first people that healed all the nations, not with Alexapro or Cymbalta.
Yeah.
No, with nature's remedies, plant life, like you said earlier, plant food, chlorophyll, all of your vital minerals from the mineral table, your calcium, your magnesium, your iron, all of these elements that are otherwise missing in the body, which is why many of your illnesses exist, because it's malnutrition or malnourishment, or something is missing in the body. There's not enough of something in the body. There's not the
Yeah.
right fuel. We put the wrong fuel in the body. You can't put regular unleaded fuel in a diesel truck. It won't start. Or you can't put diesel fuel in your economy car. It won't start. You have to put the right fuel in. The right fuel.
Wonderful. I don't know if anybody who hear this information, I don't know, I would jump in. Actually, I do in myself for 25 years that, so the result is obvious. So
Yes.
people who wants to try new stuff in your life and adjust for rest of your life, here's the solution. So
Yes.
I would highly recommend Ken because he has integrity and he is very dedicated. So thank you very much for your information, and I'm happy to highlight you and
Yes.
for what you're doing and for who you are.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope to be invited back, and we can talk some more about whatever subject.
Sure.
And yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. You have a wonderful platform, and thank you for inviting me and welcoming me. Thank you.
Thank you. Next show will be with your mom.
Yes, actually, yeah, she does. Actually, oh, one more thing before we go. Coming soon will be the Kinetic Hour. That's another thing coming up. The Kinetic Hour, which will be going in the same direction as Aim to Purpose, the radio show, but I'll be going solo, talking about any and all topics, along with health, talking about social content, relationships, you name it. I mean, whatever is on the table, it needs to be addressed. And I want to talk to the people too, including yourself, because everyone's opinion is valid. Whether we agree with it or not is irrelevant. Everyone's opinion is valid, and there's so many things going on right now that we can talk about, but we'll save that for another time.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
you.